It's here. Love Island All Stars has started this Monday, and we're so excited to get started and kick off the episode and share all of our thoughts. Just as an FYI, we will be spoiling the first season of the Love Island All Stars, episode 1 and 2. So if you haven't listened to those or watched those episodes yet, go back, watch them, and then come listen to the podcast. We'll be sharing our favorite moments, ranking our favorite couples so far, and talking through all the juicy gossip that's happening online since. But before I get started, let me introduce myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole, and I want to also introduce our lovely host for this week. Hi, girls. How's
Hi.
life outside the villa for you all?
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Brana. And life outside the villa has been pretty good this week. I'll start with my low of the week is that I cut my finger cooking dinner right before this recording. I don't know if anyone else has one of those Amazon like veggie press things. They are lethal. You have to be very careful. So just a
I'm
warning.
traumatized.
No, it was like
I'm-
the tiniest, like it was clean. I was putting it away off my drying rack, and like I just got one little corner, and just like it's so sharp. So it's
No,
great, a great way to like quickly, cut some onions and everything, but gotta be
oh my
careful.
gosh,
Watch your
Brana.
fingies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch your
One of
fingies.
one of my lingering nightmares is that I'm gonna get my hand stuck in one of those because
Oh
my
no.
mother-in-law did that. Yeah, it was
That's
horrible.
terrifying.
So now that
Crazy.
you've
Yeah.
told me this, you might have triggered something, honestly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
God.
they're just, you gotta be careful. Safety first.
Safety
So-
first.
All right, what's your high?
That was my low. Yeah. My high was I took a really fun dance class this weekend.
You still have to
and
send
it's
us the
just-
video.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
never showed it to you, and it was on
What
Instagram
video?
stories, so it's gone now.
Aw.
But it was really fun. It was like a cool choreographer came, taught a class. He was on So You Think You Can Dance season 1, which was like very cool. And it's just like fun to like dance and pretend like I'm in like, like a dancing movie for like
You're
I'm
so
like
good,
I'm like
too.
I'm Step Up for like 90 minutes,
Yeah,
So,
you're
yeah.
the only one of this group that could tackle that kind of dancing. We would struggle.
It was
So,
fun.
100%.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
lovely.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lanka. Life out the villa is good. My low is that this week that we're currently in is the last week before I start a new job and I rejoin corporate America. And then my high of the week is that this week is the first week post my period, which means like I'm hormonally stable and definitely feeling very energized.
Woo!
Hormonally stable.
Woohoo!
That's what we love to
Love
hear.
that.
Hashtag goals.
Love that. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby. One of my highs for this week is I went skiing and it was really fun. It was beautiful weather up in Dodge Ridge where I live, and just really beautiful, like 50-degree weather, so much fun. But I did fall like
Aw.
really bad. My legs were just so, I don't know, spazzing out. And I fell so hard. And I had the courage to get myself up. And then I fell again, like
Oh,
planted.
no.
Guys, on the green. And
Ooh.
I had to walk all the way down because my legs were spazzing out so much that this guy came to help me, because that was the only time my husband wasn't with me. Nick, we decided, hey, I'm just gonna go in the green one more time. And he was like, well, is it okay if I go to the blue? I was like, yes, I'm 100% ready at this point. It was the one time we were separated and I
Oh,
freaking
no.
planted. Anyway, I don't know why that was my high. That should have been my low. But another low that I had was that I almost got a puppy. I almost got a puppy. And very like last minute it fell through. So
Aw,
sad. I'm still
sorry.
looking though. It's okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
next week.
Hopefully
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be
We'll
your
see.
high. Well, hi everyone. Lastly, I'm Nicole. Again, I don't really have much of a low. It was an overall okay week in general. We had like a lovely 3-day weekend and then back to work on Tuesday. So I guess back to work on Tuesday is the low. But the
Yeah.
high was my husband had his birthday yesterday, and so we had lots of pie. We ate some really good food. We went out to see a show, and yeah, it was really fun.
What show?
This artist called C Rose, she's kind of like a guitar folk
Gotcha.
ambient vibes, but like
Gotcha.
very technically good. And so
Okay.
Boris loves a technically good guitarist and
Gotcha.
letting people do like live stuff really well.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
I
love
think I
that.
saw a picture or a video and it looked really awesome. Colorful vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, happy belated Boris.
Yeah,
Yes.
happy belated, Boris.
The guy,
Yay.
our music producer. So
Yes.
Yes.
Husband slash music producer of the pod.
All right, so we're gonna go through the top 5 moments from this week on Love Island. Obviously, we're just recapping the first 2 episodes of the new season, but there was a lot that already happened, so let's get into it. The first thing will be, we're just gonna talk about the very beginning, the step forward for the guy that you like on episode 1. And it was, I don't know, it was kind of surprising. What did you guys think?
What was that for?
I
I
know.
just didn't get the point.
I
of
think
it.
they were trying to like stir the pot. Like they were like, the
Mhm.
public's actually gonna vote for who ends up together. But like before we do that, let's just see if we can get the like conversation started with
Yeah.
people, right?
but I guess it was also an exercise to be very humbling for some of the guys who are used to being the
Totally.
hot shots. Looking at you,
Mhm.
Toby.
Yes. I just wish that we would have seen from the other perspective as well. Like the girls could have
Mm.
chosen, and maybe they made the guys choose, and then they gave us this plot
I
twist,
know,
you know?
I
I
know.
feel like
It
that would have been cool to see.
would have been interesting to see if the guys stepped forward for the same people too. Yeah, like if
Yeah.
they would have swerved. But yeah, poor Toby, like Georgia like went to him
Mm.
and then like was like swerve. Like,
Yeah.
that's kidding, Anton.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
now that you mentioned like what was the point of it, I'm actually thinking, I'm like, because obviously I'm in this season of Love Island, it seems like it's obviously a lot of like experimentation. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping this is an example of them trying to experiment with like reinventing the wheel with everything, you know? So it's kind of like that actually made,
Mhm.
that's a very good question, being like, sometimes there is a thing as too much change.
Yes.
Mhm. Totally.
Definitely.
Yeah, what did we think about like Chris too? He had like 3 ladies
Oh my
I'm
God.
standing next to
confused.
him.
I'm very
Yeah.
confused.
I don't even remember him from his season, and I watched it. So that's why I was like, I was even like, I don't even remember you at this point. So I think, I guess, would it be he's just interesting based on maybe being in the Barbie movie, you know? And, you know, maybe
Yeah.
for some that was like the
100%.
movie of the year. So you're just like, okay, I
Right.
guess
Yeah.
he might have that Kennedy in real life.
Yeah, I think
Kennedy.
in this instance too, like humor and like getting people to like break the ice goes a long way. And
Yeah.
like especially when you're making first impressions, like Chris did a good job of being like, how's everyone doing? Like, oh,
Uh-huh.
this is
Yeah.
weird, and like being a little silly and goofy and
Yes.
like getting people. And like
Yes.
I think from a woman's perspective, that's very attractive. So
Yes.
not gonna lie, I would have stepped forward for Chris if I was on set.
I knew that you
I don't
would,
know.
Nicole, because I feel like he's more your vibe.
Yeah.
But I just feel like for me, he was a little bit, well, this is not your, I'm not talking about your vibe at all, but him as a person and how how I saw him on camera,
Mhm.
I felt like he was a little bit like feminine. And I was confused when all the women
Interesting.
chose him because he almost felt a little bit just gentle. And I feel like I don't typically go for that type of vibe.
Okay.
And I was very shocked that all the girls did.
Yeah,
So
whereas like
it just
Lewis is the very other end of the spectrum. Like he seems very masculine and very like
I mean, I think I would
traditionally.
have probably stepped for Chris. I just think he's like tall, tat, his body looked
what?
pretty great. So I'm like,
He's gotten better body in the last season.
I don't like his glasses. I think that's what I'm like. It's and also his hairstyle. Like I feel like with a little
Me too.
makeover, I think I would have stood for like went forward, but like he's got like the bones, like the foundation. Like
Yeah,
I just think like he's like, you
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
totally.
having said that, I think all these people are, this is something we say at the start, usually, of every pod, is these people are at the top of the top. Like they're
Yeah.
so beautiful. They're so like close to perfect. We're just kind of like being nitpicky.
I don't
I'm
know.
being nitpicky. But yeah,
Langa's like,
Like that's like far from perfect.
okay, not perfect. Okay, not perfect. But
yeah, they're
I
all
don't think
attractive.
Well, everyone
They're
has
all
like a, I feel like everyone can pick from something
Yes.
because I
Yeah.
think everyone's attracted to different things. Everyone likes different things. And I think you can find like, especially like a short king, or you can find like a tall, dark and handsome, but your definition of tall, dark and handsome can be like something else. Like some people
Right.
tall, dark and handsome is like obviously more of like a Caucasian guy, where some people tall, dark and handsome is actually a
Totally.
darker and shade individual.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Should
great
we
point.
should we move on to the actual coupling?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, do you guys want me to talk through the couples?
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
it.
So the coupling was, and this was the public vote,
Mhm.
Chris and Demi, Lewis and Georgia H, Toby and Georgia S, Anton and Hannah, Jake and Liberty, which
Savage.
shocking, yeah, Mitch and Kaz, and then the sort of twist at the end was that Callum walked in, and then his ex Molly walked in right behind him, and they ended up coupling up.
Yes.
What
Can
do
I
you guys
just say
think of
something
this?
about this?
Please.
There was like some people that I feel like were out of place, and I would not have found a couple for them in this group. I
Yes.
felt like Jake was one of them, and I felt like
Mitch and
what was the
Kaz.
other? Yes, Mitch, Kaz, and Hannah.
Yes.
Hannah. I just feel
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Hannah doesn't have her guy in there.
No.
Yes. I
Kaz,
agree.
no
I agree.
fucking chance. Kaz, this is another topic. I love Kaz. But yeah, Jake, Hannah, Kaz, they just don't have their crew and they don't have their person in there.
Mhm.
So it was really hard as I was like watching, kind of like anticipating them to couple up. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, who am I gonna? I put them together. Like I was thinking, either Lib or Jake, or Lib or Lewis. I don't know. I was just kind of like confused as to who they would couple up with.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear to
Yeah.
me.
I didn't like the
Yeah.
Toby and Georgia S. I won't lie. Not because
Really?
I don't, I mean, again, I said this last season, I'll live by it. I just don't like Toby, and I just don't
Yeah.
understand why he's back on the show again. So I just, I especially because like, again, Georgia's like, as much as she can say like she's changed, but also she does have a history of, I mean, from being on Love Island, I mean, everyone's like, she's the one I was loyal, and I know she hates that, but I'm like, I feel like that's probably like a pillar of like the kind of person she is in a relationship. And Toby has shown us multiple times that loyalty or like kind of having a partner's back is not even something he'll even consider, which we even learn in this episode, because I mean, he in the episodes he'll be like, oh no, just because like I'm with Georgia, I don't want people to think like I'm off limits. And then he'll also make excuses as to like, like people always say that I'm this way, that way, because like I keep my options always open. But it's also like, but you want to be chased, but then you want to keep your options open, so it's kind of like girls are going to be exhausted, going to be running marathons to get Toby. It's
I'm
too
tired.
much.
I know.
I'm tired of watching it.
I also like was kind of pissed at him because he made her feel so bad for like swerving on him in the initial
Yes,
pick.
and he acted like he
Yeah.
didn't care. So that's my thing. He acted
Yeah.
like he didn't care because he was like, because she was like, "Oh, I feel so bad." He's like, "Why do you feel bad?" But it's also like, if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you wanted her as well, and
Yeah.
also your ego was also kind of bruised that she didn't, and she chose Anton.
Mhm.
But then when she's like, you know what, actually, I feel bad, and she's like up and actually showing her emotion, and he's kind of being like, "Oh my gosh, it's fine. Like, there's nothing to see here." Where it's like,
Mhm.
Doug, don't lie.
I know. I also don't like the
Yeah.
way he like phrases things. He's like, well, why do you feel bad? Not like it's okay to feel bad. We didn't have a conversation before
Yeah.
to clarify what we were doing.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Well,
he
he's
was
like
like-
leading the witness with his
Yeah.
Let's
question.
help
Yeah.
Toby. Let's help Toby. Let's shape him up.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Say
it's also a
things-
way for him to be wanted. You know, because he wants
Yeah.
you to say, "I feel bad because I really,
it's a
really,
bit
really like you."
manipulative.
100%.
It's
Totally.
manipulative.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Anyway.
like
Sure.
if Toby just took a second and stepped back and said, okay, how would she feel? Like he would just be able to better communicate. But he just is so quick to just be like, well, why do you feel bad? Like, no problem, no issues. And then he just kind of downplays everyone's emotions at all moments.
Mm-hmm.
Feels too
Yeah.
much.
And he's asks things for attention, not for like understanding and empathy.
Yes.
Yeah, and she, because she knows him, she was like, I know how Toby is. He wants
Mm,
a girl that is just all about him,
that's
which
so
is
true.
which
I
is
forgot she
interesting.
said that.
Yeah,
Because that's what
and
she said. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That is what, and then
yeah, and I
and
mean it's a little
it's true. But also, we're also on Love Island, and like if everyone's been on the show and knowing, like sometimes being day one, it might not be the best, especially for you, because also like the person that you really, really is your type on paper might show up like on like I guess at this point this
Right.
is only 5 weeks, so I guess like week 3
Yeah.
or whatever, and you just like I didn't want to like, and also like I'm assuming they also don't want to purposely hurt each other's feelings, so it's kind of being like, how can I kind of still get to know you without actually you thinking like this is like it for me, you know, like let me show some
Yeah.
kindness even though this is still going to be messy because we all live together.
Totally.
Yeah.
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 What did you guys think of the Jake and Liberty pairing? I feel like that was like very savage by the public and very
Savage,
yeah.
cringy.
but predictable at the same
Yeah.
time. Like
predictable.
But
duh,
especially-
you're gonna, you know,
It was
you're gonna do
boring.
that.
It was
kind of
boring.
like kindergarten.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
especially because they were the first 2 in the house. Like we get it. Like, I mean, meaning they were among the first of the groups to come in. Because obviously there were like 2 guys, 2 girls. Surprise, who are the top 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that I
Right.
was like, okay, awkward encounter. Hopefully they can talk things out. But then again, being like, surprise, you're gonna be like
Right.
The like
So
awkwardness
Brana-
was so palpable.
Hmm?
Like the
Yeah.
awkwardness between them was so palpable. Like
Yeah.
you could literally see on Liberty's face. She was like this.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
they didn't have a conversation. And when they announced that they were coupled up, they like
Yeah.
stood like 2
Yeah.
feet apart. Like
And he's like, I don't
Yeah.
hate the girl. Like
I
so awkward. But I
know.
did think it was funny after when Mitch and Kaz got coupled up, how Mitch was like, well, I don't hate the girl. Like
I know.
I like that he like threw it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Savage
job, Mitch.
phrase, but I get what he
Right.
was trying to say, but it definitely did not come
No,
off
it's
well.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But I actually like prior to thinking like when it got to that point where it's like obviously they're coupling them up. But if I would have from a non like kindergarten perspective, I actually could have easily seen Mitch and Liv getting coupled up, like even
Yes.
before they like obviously then we saw them like interacting and
Yeah.
actually like having chemistry. But even before that, I was like, oh, I actually could have seen it. Just like and then
Yeah.
it was like cool, not cool, but you know what I mean? Like to see that like we're kind of right about that theory because like you see them then just totally like getting on with each other, like you know, the first episode and the second episode and like having this like chemistry and banter. And I was like, wait, do I like this?
Yeah. I
Mm,
literally wrote the
interesting.
same thing in my notes. I was
Yeah.
like, I kind of like this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, as much as I like it, and I'm not sure why, is what my
Right.
notes say.
That's
Because
exactly how I felt.
I'm like, what's happening? But I kind of like it because I'm also like, fine, like also maybe you're seeing like somebody kind of like bounce off Liberty in like a genuine way and not in like a like, you know how like Callum, like last season's Callum out, he was like, you could kind of tell from the jump, like it was not it for him.
It was
And
just
like,
Friendship
and even
Island,
like
yeah.
Johnny pretending, like you can kind of see through that. But I feel like with Mitch, like it's kind of, I mean, I don't like, it just felt like a little bit like more real in terms
Yeah.
of like interaction with Lib.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
had a hard time. I had a hard time with that because I don't trust that he's really there for like love. I honestly can't picture him with a girl that's there right now. And he was so brutal with the last girl that he was with. And I don't know, I just don't trust that connection. And when
Yeah.
it felt like he was just trying to just be nice. And
Yeah.
when they played
Well,
that game and they were saying who's the sexiest Islander there, it just felt like he was a little wishy-washy, like he wasn't too like her. He was like, you all are beautiful in your own way. Huh, give me 10 minutes. Let me think about it. And then he chose Lib. I don't know. I'm getting a little fishy.
I think they're also
Yeah.
all trying not to keep their options closed because they've all been here before, right? So it's kind
Right.
of like, if I kiss her immediately, what's it gonna look like to my peers? Because I
Mm.
think,
No,
because
you're right.
I think, I mean, I understand what you're saying,
But
Gabby, but I think unfortunately with All Stars, they kind of know the game, so they kind of like, I can, which we also saw in games, was like they were very they kind of knew the game. They were very concerned with what everyone, with their perception of everyone
Yeah.
else. So then you could just tell like no
There was
one
more
was like in the
strategy.
moment 100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with your point though, Gabby. Like something
Yeah.
is like still fishy about Mitch. I think it is like our mistrust in seeing him from the last season and like how
Yeah.
he like was so full on with every single girl that like came in and liked him like an ounce. Like he was like,
Right.
you're the one, and then like would pivot as soon as another girl was like, I kind of like you know, like he was very full on. So it's hard to know when his feelings are authentic. Although I feel like Liberty is also full on. So like if they did like connect in like an authentic way, it would be a
Yes.
good match.
100%.
I just
True,
don't know
true.
yet.
Right.
Hey, I'm rooting for it. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for it. I'm not hating on it. I would love
Mhm.
it to work.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
for Lib, because damn, she's been through it.
She
Yes.
deserves.
Yeah.
Aw,
You
we
guys-
love her.
What do we think about the little champagne game and like all of the kisses that were exchanged and all of the little challenges? What were our thoughts on that situation?
My
think-
initial thought was, why do they have to drink? I don't know. Maybe it's because I have so many friends that don't drink, but I was like, why do they have to drink it and then look at the bottom of the cap? But maybe that's just because I do have so many friends that don't drink.
I think later on, the host, what's his name, Ian, was like, the producers wanted me to tell you that they were drinking non-alcoholic whatever. So they're not
I missed
actually
that.
drinking. They're not actually drinking. It's just like a play on a drinking game.
Mm.
I totally missed that. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
No worries. Yeah, that I thought that some of the questions they asked her were really spicy. Like one was like, who is the most boring Islander that Georgia
Oh,
got?
yeah.
That one
Yeah.
was harsh.
Yeah, but I think what was more harsh was Anton's reaction when he was told he was the boring one, because I think Hannah was the one answering, and basically she had to like yawn in his face or something. And then his comment back at her was kind of like, oh, I think she needed to put like maybe like mouthwash or like breath air freshener. And she was like, that's not true. And then she basically calls him back and calls him out and says like, that's very rude of you to say. And then she was like, this is a challenge, we were just joking. And he was like, oh, I was joking too. And she's like, no, that was just rude, which I think the same,
Mhm.
because it's like
I
she had to
agree.
choose someone. It's been 5 minutes, and if in the 5 minutes you're the most boring, it doesn't mean that's who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
That was Georgia H though. Not
Yeah.
Hannah, right?
Oh, so
That was Georgia H.
Yeah.
oh, my bad.
That's okay. I agree. I think it was like kind of off brand. Like if he had said something like, I don't know you either. So, or like something to like brush
Right.
off, like he would have come off cooler than be like, girl, get him in. Like come on, that's such a low blow comment.
Yeah,
I think when
100%.
guys or girls are really defensive so
Mhm.
fast, it really throws me off because I'm like, okay, if you're defensive that fast with people, how are you in a situation when like things get tough and you're like in defense mode? How
Yeah,
are you gonna
Totally.
react then? Like, are you gonna like
Yeah.
really blow up on people? That's kind of what that made me think of.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
It gave me the ick. I'm not saying I was even into Anton, but I was just like,
Right.
you can go.
Even just as
Yeah.
a human ick. Yeah.
100%,
He
1000%.
has
Yeah.
the hoods that I have. I see the hoods. I acknowledge the people that have the hoods,
Hood sees hood.
and
All right.
Anton
my
is one
God.
of them.
For the listeners here, Gabby apparently has a hooded
Hooded
eye
eyes.
situation
Hooded eyes.
And any opportunity.
She
that
loves
looks
to bring it
gorgeous
up.
99.99%
We do
of the
not
time.
see what she's doing.
Well,
And even
hooded
if she does
eyes.
have it, we are a pro hooded eye community.
Agree.
We're allies
We're
of the
allies
hooded
of
eye
the hooded
community.
eye.
Well, just so
Oh
to
my
educate just
God.
for a second here, hooded eyes are when your eyelid just goes a little bit over your eye. And when you put makeup on, if you're a girl or a man, you can't see it under. So what's the point of adding makeup under the hoods? So that's what happens to me. And that's how I know that
Mhm.
my lids are hooded because
it.
there's just no space up there.
Got it.
So yeah.
Thank you for sharing with the
You're welcome.
community.
A quick anatomy lesson.
But back to the champagne game, the other
Yes.
spicy moment that we wrote down was Georgia H, correct? No, Georgia S picked up a cup that had something that said who's the biggest game player, and she had to
Mhm.
say who it was, and she picked Lewis.
Yes. Because she
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that she knows one of her friends is his ex or something, which I guess also I guess he has like an interesting two baby mamas, which is fine. But I think it's also, I guess, just very interesting knowing that about him.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's also like and it's also because the fact that like Kaz is so into him, and like she's also someone that like in her season was basically with the F boy. So like just wanting to be like protect her at all costs, because being like, if that's what Luis is, I like just steer clear from somebody like that,
Yeah,
because she already did it
totally.
in her season, and like, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing like some of the relationships of the Islanders outside of the villa like come into play now.
Mm.
Like I
Mhm.
think that's part of like All Stars, right? Like Georgia's
Yeah.
already with Toby because they had a little fling together. There's
Mhm.
like
Was
feelings
that on
about
the show?
alliances.
Yes.
It was on games, but
Games?
they haven't like talked about it in All Stars. Like
Okay,
that seems
okay.
like an intentional thing that they're not
Mhm.
like talking about it much.
They're
And
just saying
maybe
they
there's
have history.
yeah, maybe there's something that happened off screen that we don't know about. Like
I read a Reddit thread, and they said that somebody was like, they think that like they might have slept together. Maybe that's like why their chemistry is like, and maybe somehow, I don't know where, but then because people were just saying like, I just don't get it. And I'm like, so like, I don't get it. But also,
Yeah.
but also I
When
said,
Chris brought that up at the beginning, Chris was like, "Who slept with who? Who
Yeah.
slept with who?"
and everyone looked
Nobody
around
said-
and they were like, nope, we're not answering
yeah.
that.
So I mean, it may be, or maybe, but maybe not. Because maybe this could be like crush. Because I also am just very confused, because it's like fine they were in games, but like Toby also was silly. Like I don't know. It was confusing there for me. But I mean, maybe we'll find out, or maybe we won't.
Yeah.
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 All right. The last bit, or the fourth thing that we have listed about biggest moments that happened in the villa is like just something that we're noticing about some of the villa people. We're noticing that Chris is very popular, which is interesting. And we're noticing that Georgia is very popular.
Mhm.
Thoughts? You think people are going to just be fighting for these two, or
Georgia
I think
H.
Georgia
Georgia
is
H.
beautiful.
Oh no, sorry, Georgia S. Sorry,
Mhm.
Georgia
we'll
S.
get this right. Sorry.
I think her hair color is really beautiful. I think that's what people are calling the old money blonde nowadays. I think her
Interesting.
bangs are just stunning. think we haven't seen how she wakes up, but if her hair is like that when she wakes up, that straight, she's blessed.
She, there's no way. There's no way. Georgia
No
S.
way,
that her
no
hair is
way.
that short or
And
straight.
her bangs just sit perfectly on her head, and she just has like the most beautiful hair. So I mean,
Yeah.
her hair really has not changed since the last show she was in, but for some reason she just looks so glowy.
Agreed.
I already said my piece about Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we did. Chris has got something about him. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the funny
Yeah.
guy sort of shtick wears out. The last thing that we talked about before, or that we think is a big thing that happened in the last 2 episodes, was at the second episode, they sort of teased that Jake is leaving the villa, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't handle the pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe not the pressure. I think he also could just maybe not be worth like the game, because again, you also can like blame producers, because sometimes, you know, producers want to produce a show and they don't really care about like people's feelings. And
Totally.
maybe for Jake, where he's like, you know what, I can take a joke when it's like, fine, my ex is here, and like we versus like, let's say Callum and Molly, he was like, okay, we choose for us to be together, versus now for him, like, not only is my ex here, but like now suddenly, surprise we're now like cops together,
Yeah.
and now we have to like sleep next to each other. So it's for him, I'm assuming like being on the TV show is also very stressful, and then maybe just being like, okay, now like this Liberty thing, is this going to be like my brand the whole time on the show? And maybe he's just like, that's not why I came back to the show, because again,
Right.
they didn't tell everyone who's going to be on the show. And I know they were like, hypothetically this would happen, but I'm assuming like these people give up their lives and being like, okay, if I come back a second time, what's going to be my narrative? And maybe he was like, I don't want this to be my narrative, I guess. You know,
Totally.
especially
Yeah.
because this season's going to be short, so it's like 5 weeks, and if he's like a couple of days in, like, this is not even like what I want, I'd rather go.
Totally. I can see
Yeah.
that sort of affecting you. It's almost like a cruel joke if you're like back in there with your ex and you're like, everyone's like shipping you and pointing fingers at you. And you're like, this is what I asked for. Like, why would I want to be here for this? And I was also thinking like, you know, you're right. Maybe the producers begged him for this whole sort of storyline with him and Liberty, but like ultimately he decided to do it maybe for the money, maybe just to like see what happened. And then, you know, like realized, you know, while I did it, it wasn't the best fit, and like had my little moment and peace out, and like respect him for knowing that and figuring that out. So guess we'll find out some more in the next episode.
We'll find out. Okay, I'm really excited for this segment. We're going to play our classic proper chat tier ranking game. Basically, we'll place our islanders in the categories that we feel they fit into. And then just a disclaimer before I share my screen, don't hate us if we place your favorite islander in a category that you don't agree with. Just let us know in Instagram. I think it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. So
we
I'll start
respect
sharing.
all opinions, but also this
is our opinion.
Yeah. And the
We
only
can all
reason
have
I say
one.
that was because we did have some disagreeing thoughts last season, and I think that it's great to hear everybody's thoughts. So
Yes, we're a democracy.
all right, so we can go ahead and get started. The categories that we have are, first on the very top is We'll Find Love, next is We'll Find Followers or Clout, next is Stuck in Friendship Island, and this is the group of people that just linger around being everyone's friends. And then the next category is us like, why are you here? We're kind of confused. And then the last category we'll leave blank this time around because no one has left yet, but that'll be for later. So we can start with Anton. What do you guys think? I almost feel like he's here to find clout, and he'll maybe get followers and clout, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
I think he, to me, gives like earnest, I do want to find the wifey vibe, but
Yeah.
I think he might be stuck in Friendship Island for now. Like, I don't think
I
Georgia S is about him.
Yeah, so I
I
think I think he is here for love, but I'm worried like
Hmm.
he was before he might be in Friend Island. Until I feel like somebody who is compatible with him in our opinion, shows
Yeah.
up, then maybe he actually can land in the Will Find Love. But based on the first 2 episodes, I agree.
totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree that he's stuck in Friendship Island for now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about Chris?
I feel like he'll, at the very least, he'll find followers and clout because he's clearly already like, you know, he's a fan favorite amongst the group. So I feel like fans will be like, who is this guy? Oh, he was in Barbie? Like, I feel like that at the very least, but potentially to find love. I guess it's too early to say in the sense that like
Yeah.
just because a lot of girls like him right now in the beginning doesn't necessarily mean like he will find love because he hasn't like
Mhm.
in the first 2 episodes like really clicked on, with someone. But so it's
I agree. And I think he's a bit of a showman. So I think maybe he is, I can't tell if he's actually there to find a girlfriend, partner, life partner, or if he's there just to like play the game and have a fun
Mhm.
time.
yeah.
I think he told people right away that he was in the Barbie movie, or people just knew, but I find that a little sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's very showman-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Kaz? I love her.
Me
I
too.
love her.
Mhm.
Something
She's
about
cutie.
her eyes and her smile, it's just so pretty. When I see her, I'm like, wow, she has such a beautiful smile and eyes. I don't know.
I
Although
like I think we're all in agreement that she's stuck in Friendship Island right now. I don't know, you
Mhm.
guys can
Yeah.
challenge me, but like
Yeah.
I have a hunch that this time around that she will find love, and I'm really, really hoping that for her. It's just
Yeah.
we just need some good guys to come in because none of these
Yeah.
guys are hitting it
None
for
of
her.
these guys will, yeah, work. So I think we can leave her in Stuck in Friendship Island for this week, and then we can reassess later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then next is Mitch, which she's currently coupled up with, obviously. I'm not sure.
This man's in
He
for
could-
clout for me.
I think clout. Linga, what do you think?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I mean, I don't know because I think is he here? I feel like he could find love. But I guess maybe I'm just still being like maybe him and Liberty will just ride or die to the end. But again, obviously it's like Messy Mitch. But I don't know. I'm gonna just give the benefit of the doubt to Mitch to be like, hopefully he's changed. I'll give one of the guys one of my only benefit of the doubt cards because it won't go to Toby. So I'll give it to yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't. I just feel like he seems like he would be down for like the right person, I think. So I don't think he's like, I don't know. I just don't know. Not
Yeah.
useful.
No, you guys, do you think
yeah.
that he's just here for, because my thoughts on Mitch is like in the last episode or the last season, he was like very much like a one-liner type of guy.
Yeah.
He was like trying to get a lot of attention, but I haven't gotten
Mhm.
that impression this time around.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. I also think that like I think maybe maybe he's in the why are you here category
Yeah.
because it's like I actually think he either could find love. I don't necessarily think it's like he's just here for like followers and clout because
Yeah.
anyone who already knows him as Messy Mitch and like like he already got I feel like all the
Yeah.
followers or clout that he
Mm.
could have gotten with his like Messy Mitch character. He's already
Yeah.
played, so it's like it's not nothing new kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I
So
agree.
And he was just
Yeah.
on, so it's not like his like hype died down.
right,
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
it's
It's been
just
5 minutes.
Yeah, he's still riding this high of clout already, but
Yeah,
yeah, you're
exactly.
right. We're evaluating. I think this is a good
Mhm.
place for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about Lib, his love interest at the moment?
Ugh, I hope the girl finds love.
Me too.
I
just want her
am
to
rooting
find
for
love.
Lib.
Me too. I think this is her season. I'm just gonna let's like manifest that for her.
Well,
Yeah.
could you imagine? I mean, I love Lib and everything, and I think she's super nice. Imagine she actually just goes on these shows for like 5 years. But like
Wow,
because like
Inside?
because like she's like, because think about it, with Scott we were like, ugh, stop coming back with her. We're like, "Ah, okay, I guess she's back, welcome back, honey." So it kind of is like, what if she like, you know what I'm trying to say, like what if she just liked the internet cult and just like, because I mean she also after Love Island went on like Dancing on Ice. So I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying she's not here for love, but I'm like, just that would be hilarious if that
Yeah.
If she came out of the season and was like, gotcha, like I'm not this cute and genuine. I'm
yes,
actually
because she's
cute."
actually really small. She got 4 A's.
Got 4 A's. She's playing us. Huh?
Yeah, that's an
Hilarious.
interesting point. I say we keep her at the very top just to manifest, like Nicole's
Yeah.
saying.
Mhm.
What do you guys think of Demi? I think she was an interesting character.
I
She's
hope
actually
she
really
finds love.
sweet.
She's
Me
like
too.
her and Liberty have very similar character. Like I feel like based on their different seasons, they have the same like kind of like bubbly-esque kind of vibe, which is good.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, I don't
didn't
know
get
her
that
well
vibe
enough,
from
but
her.
I think a lot of guys will like her. She seems really likable and
Yeah.
interesting and also cute. So
Yeah.
I
And I
feel
think
very
she
cute.
also can also like hold like an actual conversation. She isn't
Yeah.
like, you know, usually they're like, oh, I'm good looking, come talk to me. She's more like, you know, like having like a cool, fun kind of banter conversation. I think she's
totally.
cool.
Yeah, and Lewis, do
Oh.
you guys think he's here to find love?
I'm wondering
I
why
almost
this
feel-
man is here.
Yeah, I'm in the why are you
I am
here?
also yeah, especially because he, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But kind of like a derogatory, why are you here? Like the
Why?
man, unfortunately, like the man has 2 kids and like doesn't seem to be grafting so far. Like he doesn't seem to be like,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
here for my wifey and I'm really putting in the effort.
He's
So-
liking
Mm.
he's loving the attention.
Oh, you're right. He is loving the attention. And maybe that leads to like followers and clout, but I don't know. He doesn't seem like a showman, you know? Like he's
No.
giving like
Well,
chill.
he does the chilled like cool guy thing. That's what like F boys do. He
Yes.
should
Yeah.
go on F Boy Island. This is not the show for him. F Boy Island is the show. There's a show for him, and it's not Love Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Totally.
Okay, what about Georgia?
Oh, I like her. I hope she finds love. I just have a
Yeah.
feeling it might be with Toby and we've talked about this literally a million times. So
I feel
Yeah.
like we're just putting our favorite girls at the top.
Hey, it's our opinion.
it is.
Is
Okay,
there
but
any
go
other
ahead.
guy that you guys think is here and that will find love
I
from the
think
guys that we have left?
Callum, just from my initial impression of him,
Yeah.
because
Right.
he still likes Molly and he seems like very invested in trying to get back with her.
I think he wants to get back together. I'm reading that
Yeah.
as well because I think their breakup
Yeah.
their breakup was very like their breakup, as they both said, was like, hey, like we actually didn't end like that badly. It was just the fact that like because basically the fact that like we lived together, and obviously like I guess with sometimes with long-term relationships, like certain things kind of like, you know, the monotony of living together might have got in the way, but they
Yes.
were like, we had nothing, there was no angry fighting. It just was like, I guess this isn't working anymore. And
Yeah.
also maybe like this could be like the thing that like sparks them remembering how they're both so attractive. So kind of being like, oh my gosh, actually, well, yeah, now I remember why, like, you know, we both wanted, because I think like Callum actually was my favorite in the guy in his season, just looks wise, but obviously
Yeah.
he wasn't good like in terms of like character wise, because he was with
Mm.
Shauna, and he basically went and Molly was who he dated, he got from Casa Amor. So I think that's like, so technically like that like start, but I would say like, and I also was always like, I don't know if this guy's really smart, but I will say he definitely is grown and seems a little bit more
He
smart
feels
at this
like
time
he
around.
needs closure. Sorry, sorry to cut you
No,
off,
it's
Linga.
okay. No
I
problem.
was just gonna say, like, he feels like he needs closure. It feels like he didn't let go of the relationship. You know, there's a thing about some guys is that when they finish a relationship, they go a little wild. and they
Mhm.
go out in the earth, and they just like do all the things they need to do to get over the relationship, and then later they process, and then they're like, shoot, what happened?
Mhm.
What did I
Oh, I
have?
see.
The
That's a good
processing is
point.
later.
Oh,
There's
so he's
some,
gone into the wild and realized actually I had it good at home.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what
Oof.
happened. Versus Molly, I think what happened was Molly was processing, was really hurt, was at home, was watching the situation, was watching him go
Yeah.
out in the wild,
Yeah, and he didn't
and
handle
now
it
is
well
really
based on
hurt.
what she said.
Yeah.
And she's already processed it because she had to process it quick because she
Yeah.
saw him out in the wild and videos were sent to her of him and other
Mhm.
girls. But yeah, I think there's some rekindling here that could happen.
But he
just
also might
from
want to because all the guys want to. So I think Callum also might also be in the mix of like, obviously it's over, but I think maybe he might be like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm interested because like if it's like wanting your like proper, not saying she's this property, but I feel like that like weird territorial thing, and he's just kind of
Yeah.
like, do I want her back? But it's like, I don't know. But again, like I
After
wonder how they
3,
can
I
sift through that.
think it's gonna depend on how he approaches it with her, right? Like if he actually like takes a genuine effort to be like,
Like
I
the
want to
why.
make this right,
Mhm.
and here's why, and like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get to know other girls, and like I really want to make this work. I think he can turn it around, but like you're right, if he just does it out of jealousy, I think she'll be able to pick it up.
After 3 years of being with somebody, going on this show, it must be really hard. You're not seeing that person as a random person that's standing up there looking insane. You're seeing them as like all the memories. And I can just imagine that's really difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. And they know each other, so they can know when they're like flirting with someone else, like someone's behavior, so you'll know whether he's like generally what his vibe is. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Are we putting her in
Miranda?
the Will Find Love then?
well, I'm not sure. I haven't really got much of a vibe from her. I think Callum really kind of threw his cards there because he had to choose.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys think about Molly then? Well, she's definitely not ever going to be stuck in Friendship Island. All the guys are like
No.
excited to talk to
No,
her.
no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if she's looking for love, I think she'll get love. But if she wants clouds and followers, I feel like she'll get those a lot of people in her DMs. So I think
Yep.
it's also not 100% clear what she wants, because like right now, I think she's again on the narrative of talking to Callum, but also keeping her options open with the guys. But also, it's like, is that what she wants? Or I mean, again, she did come on the show, but it's also like, I don't know. I can't say I can tell which of the two. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Jake? Do we agree that he's just kind of stuck in Friendship Island for now?
Well, I think because we know that he's about to leave, I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he initially came in to find love, or you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I'm okay with putting him in stuck in Friendship Island because it seems like where he is, but also like I'm
Well,
like
since we know,
so
like,
confused.
honestly, that he's 92% they're gone, don't you want to just say left the island? Because just based on
Right.
the
Yeah.
spoiler that they gave us, like, sorry, my guy.
Guys, I
But-
didn't realize that that was an actual thing. I think I just didn't pay that much attention to the very, very, very last bit. And
Mm.
I heard it, but I thought it was kind of like he might leave. I didn't realize he actually was leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Toby?
Why are you
Why is
here?
he freaking here?
Why are you here?
We have
Yeah.
a lot of things to say about this man, but
Giving him enough airtime.
Yeah. What about Georgia?
I can't get a read on her. I can't tell
Yeah.
if she's like genuinely like looking for love or like there for like a good time, Like I don't know if I would put her in the Will Find clout followers, but like
Yeah. I feel like she's why are you here as well.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
cool.
She's
Woohoo!
also
That concludes. Sorry, Linga.
no,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay.
I was gonna say that concludes our ranking game. And we'll post this chart on our social media. And like I was saying, if you disagree with us, comment on our post.
So On this section, it's basically what we would use to say what everyone's saying about the Love Island contestants that are currently on the show, but as well as what's going on socials with the Love Island contestants that have just generally been on the franchise. And that being said, have you guys been seeing anything interesting or / noteworthy that we should be discussing?
Honestly, no.
Well, we have some news about our social feed, Gabby.
Yeah, I was super happy. Today we posted a really cute video of how much we love Mal and Lydia. And they were so sweet and they reacted so kindly and lovely. And we messaged them and then they messaged us back. They loved our stuff. They commented, they reposted. It was so sweet. We
So
love
nice.
them.
We love them.
I
Very
even
nice.
planted the seeds on having them on the podcast. And Mal said, and I quote, absolutely. So
Queens.
when we get
We will fly
So
to
at some
London.
point-
It's game recognizing game, really, at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be very exciting to have, I mean, both of them or either of them join us and, give us a little BTS of what happens with Love Island. And
Absolutely.
that would be very fun, and we'd be so honored because they're definitely faves of ours. Yeah, and I think for me, I mean, most of my social I've been looking up is more like just like Reddit threads and just everyone's thoughts as onto, like, for example, like the Georgia and Toby kind of friction, because it's kind of like, I know they were coupled up for like 4 days or something, but like the way she speaks about Toby, you're just like, did we miss something?
Mhm.
So people are obviously just speculating, as in I'm sure maybe something might have happened, that like we didn't see on the camera. So I feel like I'm very curious because I just feel like there's just something missing. And yeah, and also if you know anything, DM us. Just let us know, because I'm just so
Share the
curious.
rumors, please.
Mhm.
Yes.
I will say the only fan theory that I have, and I think they're trying to like start as the producers were like building out the cast, that I wanted to like sprinkle into your thoughts is, I see a theme here, right? We see Jake and Liberty coming in, and then Callum and Molly coming in. Like,
Mhm.
it seems like they're bringing back exes. And my theory is that I think there's going to be more exes coming in the season.
So is this going to
And
be like X on the Beach? They already have
I'm
that
bored.
show.
I
don't
don't know,
want
but
exes.
you guys, I think they're trying to start drama with the exes, but I think in some ways it could be interesting, right? Like, for example, we're seeing Toby crack on with Georgia right now. In walks Chloe. She's gonna put him in his place.
Ooh.
Like, that would be really spicy
Maybe.
and interesting.
Well,
Just
this is also
just a
assuming
theory.
that
I don't
exes
know.
want to see each other. Well, this is assuming exes want to see each other.
Well, I'm not assuming that they do at all.
got it.
I'm
Mhm.
assuming that the producers think that this is going to be the most drama, and that's what they're
gotcha.
doing.
Gotcha.
Again,
Hey,
I
I'm
don't know if
bored.
it'll be the best for the All Stars season at all. I just think they're like, this seems to be an ongoing theme, and they might bring some more exes back. That's my theory.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm good without it. I want fresh. And I know I can't get it with All Stars. So let's get fresh relationships.
Yeah, I'm like excited
sense.
for like two people to come in and like actually crack on in like a cute way. And we haven't really seen that yet. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
what's
Mitch and
that?
Liberty, but
Right.
who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess another thing was I saw spoilers of that with Jake leaving, that he actually has like kind of like an Oprah style like sit down with Maya as to like why he left. So I'm like, we're like 2 episodes in, like let him leave. Like, what's the girl who magically just disappeared off the games, and we're
Oh,
like, we
yeah.
don't know how she
I
lived.
know.
We're like,
It's
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but it's like, bye, like, you know what I mean? It's like, fine, you were there for like 2 seconds. I don't know if we have to like have a whole like opinion piece, like, no offense, Jake, but like, no,
We're not attached yet, so we don't
Right.
need this
No.
whole
we
thing.
don't need a whole like, were you
But-
silent or silenced moment?
Yes, that's exactly
Seriously.
it. That's exactly it.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. That's exactly what somebody actually
Yeah.
posted. They were like, "Are you tired?" I'm dead. That's hilarious. But also, everyone, to our listeners, please feel free to like submit your predictions or anything you see or hear on socials that we might be missing, because like we love like example how like an example
Yeah.
would also be how last season with like Johnny, when we were like the whole speculating whether or not he was having a baby or not, turns out the answer was yes.
Yeah.
So we're all very interested to like, we love mess and we love discussing it. So anything you know, please let us know on Proper Chat Pod.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Proper Chat. We'll be back next Thursday to recap the next several episodes of Love Island All Stars. Who knows what's going to happen by then? If you're excited to hear our thoughts for this season, please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you don't miss our future episodes. Your rating really matters to us and it keeps us excited to continue making content. Make sure to follow us at Proper Chat Pod on both Instagram and TikTok and let us know what content you are enjoying from us. Until next time, stay proper and stay chatting.